Hello music lovers, welcome back to the Woodshed. Obviously it's a little different looking around me. I'm in lovely Chattanooga, Tennessee at the Songbirds Museum. For those that know, Songbirds has an unbelievable collection of instruments. They also do a charity where they raise money for local schools and put instruments in the hands of the students. It's amazing. So this week, not being at my own studio, I thought it would be cool to do a Woodshed episode from right here in Songbirds. So why am I here? It's to do a Tony Rice tribute. They're putting together all kinds of amazing players. They've got Trey Hensley, Rob Ike, Sierra Hull, all kinds of amazing players are getting together to talk about the influence of Tony Rice. Now, on to the instruments. This is one of those instruments that you would have to sell your house, your car, your firstborn child, your soul, anything else you might have strapped down to be able to pay for it. This is a 1941 Martin D-45. I can't even imagine how few of these are in existence. When you think about the 1%, this is like the 0.0000001% of instruments in existence. I'm amazed to even be holding it and very thankful that they've allowed me to play some Tony Rice inspired licks on this guitar. Now what I wanted to do, outside of just show you how amazing this instrument is I wanted to teach you the fundamental bluegrass-ism, right? When I think of bluegrass, a lot of times people are emailing me and asking me, they're like, Andy, what's the scale? What scale do I play for bluegrass? What makes something sound like bluegrass? What shape do I use? The reality is I learned this stuff from playing fiddle tunes and just learning the music, and all of a sudden the shapes started being under my fingers. So I had to kind of reverse engineer the answer to that. What I came up with is pretty interesting in that it's a lot of major pentatonic, except you're adding notes to the major scale. For instance, a major scale would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. And the first thing you notice is most bluegrass players like to play out of open position. They like to use a lot of open strings to get the guitar to ring out. Even when they play in other keys, like B flat, they'll put a capo on, play out of a G position. So what you end up with are grips that look like the basic Mel Bay page 4 cowboy chords, right? You end up with G, C, and D. However, guys like Jake Workman, Trey Hensley, Tony Rice, Dave Greer, they just fire off these blistering rapid fire licks, and it doesn't even hardly look like they're moving their hands up and down the neck, right? It's all about those open strings. So what I want to do today in today's Woodshed is just give you a basic outline to get you started. We're not going to go overboard in depth on today's lesson. I want to keep it brief and to the point. Let's dive in. So we're going to start with G, and I'm going to walk you from the bass side of the neck to the treble side of the neck, and I'm going to tell you every interval that happens. So first of all, we're going to start with G. We're going to have a flat 7, G, which is 1. Now we're going to have a 2, flat 3, 3, 4, 5 is going to be an open D, 6, flat 7, 1. Now let's continue on up the neck. Let's go 1, 2, flat 3, 3, and you're going to play it with an open B string. You start to hear how this vernacular and the accent of the genre really starts to come through. 5, 7, 1, flat 3, 3, 1. One more time. And then 7, 5, 1. So now let's walk up the scale again, starting down here where we've started. 7, 1. Now we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay. So you can see just by sliding this one note, you get all these different colors. I'm going to slide it the other way. So now we're going to add one more interval to it, which is going to be flat 5. But we're only going to do that on the B string. You're going to get that quintessential bluegrass kickoff. So I've got the G on top, G on the bottom. I'm going to play 3, 4, flat 5, 5. Now when you add that in, so as you can tell, I'm not regurgitating these notes in a scalar format. I'm using them as very small building blocks to connect other phrases. And that's really the most important thing with this genre is phrases. There's a really great quintessential Bryceism. Right? And now, if we started with bluegrass, we got to end with bluegrass, and I'm going to give you the quintessential bluegrass G run. So you'll hear in a lot of solos, guys will finish their solos. And at the very end of a solo, you'll hear that last line where they hit a 1 on the downbeat, and then that resets the right hand to get ready to go back into playing some rhythm playing. So to review it all, we're going to look at our intervals. We got 1, flat 7, and 1, right? So we got 1, 2, flat 3, and major 3. And that's where the G run is. You're playing 2, flat 3, 3, 5, pull off, root, right? So we're going to walk up the intervals. 7, 1, 2, flat 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, flat 3, 3, 4, flat 5, 5, 6, 7, 1. And there you have it. That's your basic building blocks to get started into bluegrass if you've never played it, right? Thanks for hanging out in the Woodshed this week. Thanks to Songbirds for having me. Keep your eye on their channel for that Tony Rice tribute. It's going to be amazing, and we'll see you next week.